All right, so last week we learned that the federal government took in $307 billion. These are the total receipts. And, well, they spent $687 billion, right? Those are your outlays. And what was really, I guess, more intriguing on the outlay side, more than anything else, maybe, interest payments, net interest payments are $80 billion. In fact, we learned that we surpassed $1 trillion in interest payments in a fiscal year. This is the first time that's ever happened. If you look closely, so we're just slightly behind health, national defense, and at some point real soon, the interest we pay will come after Medicare and Social Security as one of the most expensive outlays. So we're on a really difficult path. In fact, my next guest recently warned that low rates make public debt soar to unsustainable levels. So I'm going to bring in Trish's chief economist, Daniel Lacalle. And Daniel, you wrote about the risk of artificially high and low rates, and you say that governments ignore the risk and they continue to add to public debt, nevertheless, knowing that they can raise taxes and refinance their liabilities at the expense of private investment and family credit. It just seems like, okay, when I read that, it's such an ominous statement. It's so worrisome. Is there any other way? I mean, can governments pick a better way to govern?
Governments can pick a better way to govern, and certainly better than having the Fed bail out the Treasury, which is what is happening right now. The Fed will bail out the Treasury with a rate cut, but that won't reduce the rising burden of interest expenses, because it's not just the cost of debt, it's the rising debt. And this government, the Treasury, expects an increase of $16 trillion in the next 10 years. So that is even considering that there will be no recession and that record receipts will continue to be there. Therefore, the only way that governments can really curb this problem is to put together a pro-growth program in which there is real incentives to invest, to grow businesses, to improve the situation for citizens. If not, this is going to go very badly. This is Japan-style badly.
All right. In fact, you write that central banks have gone from being the providers of liquidity of last resort to providers of liquidity of the first resort. In fact, I want to share the sentence that you highlighted because some economists call this the social use of money. I prefer to refer to this as the government destruction of money. So the game sounds not only rigged, and again, to what we were just talking about, but somewhat doomed.
Absolutely doomed, because if you think about it, in expansion periods, the government weight on the economy rises massively through government spending and fiscal and monetary stimulus. And when inflation rises, the Fed increases rates and reduces liquidity, and the entire burden of normalization falls on families and on small businesses. So the size of government actually rises yet again in normalization periods. So it's basically a constant transfer of wealth from the productive sector, from families, from small businesses, to the bloated government spending and administration. And even worse is that the people that believe that this is going to manifest in higher entitlement spending see that it doesn't happen because interest expense is eating away the budget. So this leads directly to stagnation and to the destruction of the purchasing power of the currency in which we earn our wages and in which we have our deposits.
I got less than a minute to go, but on the notion of earning our wages, it seems like fewer and fewer of us have anything left, right? Because you're saying now that the biggest risk for the economy is the low level of savings right now, and we're looking at savings as a percentage of national income. I mean, this is obviously a pretty awesome number, ominous number down here.
It's the worst number in 16 years. It shows how weak the economy is and how consumers have to make ends meet with higher levels of debt. Credit card debt has risen to an all-time high. Saving is very low. That's not because consumers are happy or likely or wanting to spend, but because they're really suffering from elevated inflation and high taxes.
All right, Daniel. Well, your work is phenomenal. You've written so many books on the topic, and I'm glad you could spend some time educating us on this. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel, like my videos, leave your comments below, and keep defending freedom. Thank you very much.